It's often said that football is a game of matchups, but that's only part of it. Sometimes it's players who dictate those matchups, and sometimes it's scheme. Offenses can dictate what the defense does, like by getting them to match personnel groupings, and defenses can dictate where the offense goes with the ball. Every defensive concept and coverage has advantages and disadvantages built into its design, and it's up to the offense to attack wherever the defense is not. This is the crux of the Kansas City Chiefs' offensive issues. As defenses have shifted to limit their mega-powered passing game, they've failed to counter. To be fair, they are still 5-4, but between their offensive woes this past month, plus their horrendous defense, which I covered a few weeks ago, it appears this could be the first time the Mahomes-led Chiefs will miss the playoffs entirely. The offense has the highest turnover percentage in the league. Mahomes has only 2 touchdown passes in his last 3 games, and his numbers and the offensive numbers when compared to the last several years have taken a staggering plunge. Once the most explosive offense in the NFL is now simply below average at creating big plays. Great offenses aren't just about mastering one thing like the Chiefs have with the passing game the last several years, but being a complete offense that has answers for everything. Right now, they're a bad offense that hasn't made the necessary adjustments and hasn't adapted to attack defenses' weaknesses. We'll get into why teams have altered their strategies to successfully defend the Chiefs, but first, I want to thank this week's sponsor Fetch, which has flat out changed the way I shop. Fetch Rewards is an app that's super easy to use where you earn free rewards on literally anything you buy. There's no extra fluff, extra costs, signups, credit card subscriptions, nothing. This app makes it incredibly easy to get free stuff. All you have to do is scan any receipt or e-receipt after you purchase something, and you earn points that go directly to free rewards. After downloading, you can scan your receipts, which takes seconds, then you receive points, and can convert those points into rewards. And what's crazy, it's not just weird reward places you've never heard of, it's places like Amazon, Adidas, NFL Shop, Target, and a million more. The points you get from the scanned receipts turn into gift cards, and then that's it. You get free money to your favorite places. To get 3,000 points right off the bat, which is about $3 towards an Amazon gift card, all you have to do is click the link in the description, download the app, and use the code Rollins when you scan your first receipt. Okay, so what is wrong with the Chiefs? Well, it's never as straightforward as defenses are simply playing 2 high safeties instead of 1, but that's certainly one of the chief culprits. From last year to this year, defenses have increased their usage of 2 high coverages against them by 15% to a league-high total. Defenses have also played a lot more zone coverage and are blitzing Mahomes at by far the lowest rate in the league, just 13%. By putting an extra safety deep, by playing soft zone coverages, and by not blitzing, defenses are dictating what the Chiefs should do on offense, run the ball, but they refuse. They still rank number 1 in passing frequency on early downs and early in games, despite defenses simply daring them to run. Because they can't stop passing the ball and continue to design their offense solely around Mahomes throwing, it's limited the variety of run schemes they're able to call since they always want to be in an optimal passing formation. So even though they have the advantage against these 2 high safety schemes, their run game is anemic, even though numbers-wise, it should be good. 2 high coverages even the numbers in the box for the offense. Here the Giants still have a 6-on-5 advantage, but by putting Mecole Hardman in orbit motion to threaten the screen, Tay Crowder is pulled out of the box, making it 5-on-5. This means the Giants are out-gapped, meaning they don't have enough in the box to fill each gap in the run game, and that if everyone gets blocked, there won't be a free hitter for the running back. However, the Chiefs just aren't quite good enough to execute even when they have that advantage and aren't really built to run this kind of scheme. This is an outside zone run, which is more effective when the QB is under center since it allows the running back to vision the entire field. Outside zone concepts direct the running back to read outside back to the inside, and is often deadliest when the ball carrier can cut back across the formation. But out of shotgun, he can really only read half the field. This offseason, the Chiefs rebuilt their offensive line more for power and driving people forward downhill, so continuing to run outside zone isn't really a great scheme fit since it puts their line in a lot of space and asks them to win horizontally rather than vertically. You're asking running back Darrell Williams to have really great vision to cut this all the way back, and you're asking the rookie right guard Trey Smith, who's more known for his power, to win horizontally and move Dexter Lawrence sideways rather than downhill. The Chiefs showed in this Giants game they could diversify their run game when they began using more gap schemes, which are based on power and playing downhill. But just like always, they were too antsy and itchy to get back to their pass game and never committed to running the ball down the Giants' throats despite always having the advantage in the box. Since the Chiefs won't run, even against too high, defenses are even more comfortable sitting in soft zone coverage, not blitzing and keeping those two deep safeties deeper than ever, and the Chiefs continue to force passes into these coverages like an addict who can't quit. Sometimes they'll attempt to use deception by deploying heavier personnel and putting Mahomes under center to make the defense think they're about to run, but they haven't already set up the run out of this formation, so defenses just sit back knowing the pass is coming anyway. The Giants consistently played their safeties nearly 20 yards off the ball to make sure nothing could beat them deep, but still, the Chiefs continued to pass. This concept is called XZ read, which is really better suited to defeat one-high coverages. It's a hard play-action pass where both receivers run a read route where they run a go, but if there's a safety over the top, they'll sit down at 15 to 18 yards. The play action is designed to suck up the second level so the read routes can settle into the crevices, but the Giants literally could care less about the threat of the run. Since the safeties are way deep, Travis Kelce and Byron Pringle both read it and sit down, but the entire second level is super soft. Yeah, they pick up the first, but the Chiefs are an explosive play offense, and when they can't get those explosive plays because the defense won't let them win over the top, they will keep stalling out. Teams have consistently forced Mahomes to check the ball down, which has limited his typical big play ability, and the numbers bear that out. His average depth of target has plummeted all the way down to a pedestrian 7.6. It's fallen every year of his career, and each of his receivers' air yards per target, Kelce, Tyreek, and Mecole Hardman's are all the lowest they've ever been. Tyreek's has fallen from 13 to 10. These two high coverages have completely neutralized the threat of his vertical speed, which is a major part of their offense. It's not like defenses never tried to take that away in the past, but when they have tried it, Kelce has always been able to kill him, just not this year. This is the Chiefs' favorite formation where they have a trips look to one side with Tyreek in the slot and Kelce soloed up on the other. It gives them answers against both man and zone, and here provides Mahomes a pre-snap man indicator since the corners are on one side and the safety on the other. The Titans' defense is essentially dictating where this ball should go by where they position their safety. If Kevin Byard drops down to help on Kelce, then this is a one-high coverage and Tyreek can win with speed across the field deep. But since this is a two-high coverage with Byard dropping into a deep half, the Titans are challenging Kelce to win one-on-one, but this year he can't. Corners or safeties are jamming him at the line, and unlike in the past, they're defeating him one-on-one. His 1.14 yards per out run against press is the lowest of his career, which leads me to believe he's playing hurt. He's just not moving like his usual self. With him being banged up, it's really put all the onus on Tyreek to win, but when defenses play their safeties way deep, almost predetermining he's not going to win with his vertical speed, that's taken away a major part of this offense. With two high safeties, you can disguise a lot more since you can drop one of them down, and it also takes the pressure off the underneath defenders since they know they have help over the top. In a similar formation with Kelce on one side and trips to the other, just like the Titans, the Giants show a clear man indicator pre-snap with three corners over the three receivers and a safety over Kelce. The Chiefs are running Domino, which is a two-high beater designed to suck up coverage underneath to open a window for Tyreek, and it also acts as a man beater with Pringle whipping back out. But at the snap, the Giants drop into a cover 3 zone, and when Mahomes sees the curl flat defender falling off Tyreek to jump Pringle, he carelessly tosses the ball into what he thinks is a wide open zone, but James Bradberry is sitting right in the way for what should have been another turnover. Then the next play, the Chiefs use the same formation and the Giants give him that same corners over the receivers look, but now actually do play man, which makes Mahomes hesitate, dance around in the pocket a little, and ultimately throw the ball out of bounds. We haven't really talked about his part in all this yet, but there are certainly issues he struggled with this season. Two high coverages require quarterbacks to buy time and then gun the ball over the top of those deep-ass safeties, which you'd think could play right into his wheelhouse, but he's struggled to sit in the pocket and wait for those deep concepts to develop. One way to defeat two high is to control the safeties with something underneath, then throw deep post over the top since the corner has outside leverage on the receiver. On the backside, the Chiefs have a cross-country dagger concept where the dig also frees up, and at the snap you can see Mahomes hit the top of his drop and the safety Byard is peeking in a little too much to guard Kelce, but instead of stepping up in the pocket to buy time and wait for Hardman to come open, Mahomes immediately vacates the premises and tries to buy time with his legs. He's always been one to create and extend outside the pocket rather than in it, But this year, that tendency has been amplified and has hurt the Chiefs. Orlando Brown does a good job contacting Harold Landry and riding him around the perimeter of the pocket, but Mahomes drops much deeper than the typical 8 yards. Instead of stepping up into this gigantic clean pocket and attacking deep, he escapes to his right and leaves a big play on the field. Defenses are dictating what they should be doing on offense, but the Chiefs aren't obliging. Football, at the end of the day, is a system, and no player or team can beat that system without truly being flexible. You have to ebb and flow with what defenses are giving you, and if you lean to one side too heavily, eventually they're going to catch up. Sure, the Chiefs could dictate more of what defenses are doing by utilizing heavier personnel packages with less receivers, which would force defenses to match with more linebackers. And if the Chiefs ran the ball more, no, I'm not talking about outside zone from the gun. Defenses would have to respect that and begin bringing that second safety down closer, which would open everything back up. You can argue the Chiefs need more talent besides Kelce and Tyreek, because yeah, those other guys haven't stepped up at all. But if your system requires 2 superstars and a superstar quarterback, and can't function when one of them isn't at their best, you don't have a good system. You need a system with balance. Right now, this is flat out a staring contest between defenses and the Chiefs. We're gonna put everybody deep and play super soft and dare you to beat us on the ground. The answer for the Chiefs to turn this whole thing around is simple. It's time to blink first.